One of the challenges of using GemStone Smalltalk is installation and configuration. I'm going to demonstrate here a tool that's available on the Macintosh that simplifies that process. We'll start by going to seaside.gemtalksystems.com/jade. We'll take the first link. Version 1.1 is about a 900K disk image. That downloads very quickly. We can take that out to our desktop and double-click it to open it. The installation is copy the GemStone application to your applications folder or directory just by dragging it from the left across to the right. That will put it in your applications directory. You can then close this window. You can then eject the disk image and delete the disk image that you downloaded. At this point, you can use Spotlight to say find GemStone. Alternatively, you can go to the Launchpad. At this point, it may say can't be opened because it was not downloaded from the App Store. This is a security feature in one of the later versions of the Mac operating system. We can solve that in a couple different ways. We can go to System Preferences, go to Security, and then unlock if need be, enter your password to allow some changes. And then here we can allow applications downloaded from identified developers. GemTalk Systems is a Mac Apple developer, and so we are permitted to do that. And so there it will just say it's an application. Are you sure you want to open it? So it confirms, tells you where it got it. Alternatively, instead of lowering the security on your Mac, you can leave the security to limit things to the Mac store, and you can, using the Finder, navigate to the Applications directory, find the GemStone app, and then either right-click or using the Control key, Control-click on it and select Open. This shows a dialog that says it's not from the App Store. Are you sure you want to open it? And if you say yes, then it will remember it as being something that's allowed. It will bring us either to the databases or the Setup tab. If we go to the Setup tab, the first thing we're interested in is the Helper tool. There's a certain amount of configuration that needs to be done as an administrator and needs security to do that. But here, GemStone is trying to install a helper tool. So do you want to allow this? So I'll give my administrative password and say allow. So the helper tool is now installed. So far we just have a tool that helps us manage GemStone. We want to get a list, so we'll click the update button, goes out to the website, and gets a list using HTTP of the various products that are available for the Macintosh through this process. We can check 3104. It will start the download process. We can see how much has been downloaded, how long it's taken. When the download finishes, it will start unzipping things. And the unzip process, there is a significant CPU usage going on. So that gives us 3104 that's been downloaded successfully. An alternative to this unzip process is to go directly to the web and look at the place where it's getting things, which is seaside.gemtalksystems.com/downloads. We can see a Darwin directory, and here's a list of the files. An alternative is going to downloads.gemtalksystems.com, and this is actually an HTTP access to our FTP site that provides a bit of a different view where they're grouped by version and all the different architectures that are available. So you can see Linux, Solaris for SPARC, Solaris for x86, Darwin for the Mac, AIX for RS6000, and then the client libraries for Windows. So, for example, we could download the 3103 for Darwin, and that would give us a zip file that's been copied to our downloads folder. We could say go to our home directory to downloads and see that the download that we took from the web browser is available. And that again will take the unzip process for 3103, and instead of having our application do the download, it will just install it locally. When that finishes, we now have two versions of GemStone available to run locally. So we're going to now go to the next tab, Databases, and here we can click the plus button to obtain a new database. And by default, it will pick the most recent version and copy in an extent and set things up. We could change the version simply by clicking the drop-down list and selecting a different one if we've installed multiple. We could edit the name. We can edit the NetLDI name, but we'll accept the defaults. The default cache size is 128 meg. For example, we could change that to 256 by typing in a number here. We can see that we have an extent. We can click the folder icon, and this opens a Finder window on our database location. We can also see that we have the 3103 and 3104 product trees. If we click the Start button, that starts up our GemStone database. We can see that it's running, and we now have a tran log. We can also see process logs. So here's a list of the various log files that were created by the processes. So if we double-click on GS64 Stone 1, it opens in Console, which is the Mac app for log files, our Stone log. Once you have a database, you want to log into it. So at this point, if we click on the GemTools link, we have an expression that could be used to start to create a GemStone session in GemTools. I'm not going to go into that right now. Instead, I'm going to just use the more basic approach. I'm going to start up a terminal session. This terminal session is in our directory. It has environment variables set up so we can look at our environment, including the important one of GemStone. It's also set the path so that if we say GS list, and we can see our list of server products. If I say Topaz, ask for a linked Topaz -L, and then give a temporary object space of, say, 50 meg. So now I have Topaz. It reads an initialization file that's provided for it that has appropriate configuration information. So if I say status, I can see we have a GemStone. So if I just type login, then I have a successful login. At this point, we can execute Smalltalk code. So for example, send 100 factorial. Alternatively, we can run more complex Smalltalk expressions using the run, print it, do it commands, 100 factorial print string size. And then when you're done, you can use a % symbol in the first column to show that you're done with your multi-line expression. When you hit enter, it tells us the number of characters in that string. When we're done, we can say log out and then exit, and that takes us back to the shell prompt. We can see statistics. If we double click on the statistics or open it, then it will launch X window, which is used for our VSD application. VSD is an application that supports visual statistics displays. So here's a list of the processes that are running. It opened our appropriate stat file. If we select the stone, then we can look at various statistics about the stone. If I want to chart the total session count, I can see we started at 0, 4 sessions, 5 sessions, and then 4. We can quit from VSD. We can stop the stone, click stop, and that will stop the stone, the NetLDI, and the other processes. So there we have a way of installing and managing the GemStone database system from a Macintosh application. We hope that you find that useful. Let us know. Thanks.